All right, let's be real. Keeping plants alive isn't always easy. Maybe your place doesn't get much sunlight, or maybe you just forget to water them. I get it. But what if I told you there are some awesome pothos varieties that thrive in low light and practically take care of themselves? Yep, these beauties don't need direct sun, and they'll still give your space that fresh jungle vibe. So today, we're talking about 7 of the best low-light pothos that are perfect for those shady spots in your home. Let's jump in. All right, kicking off the list, we've got the silver satin pothos. And man, this one's a stunner. If you want a plant that looks fancy but doesn't act needy, this is it. Check this out. The leaves have this cool, silvery sheen that almost looks like it's reflecting light. But guess what? It actually thrives in low light. Perfect for those corners that never see the sun. I've got one sitting in my office, and it just keeps growing. It doesn't get direct sunlight, and I barely have to water it. If you're the forget to water type, this one's for you. Plus, it's a trailing plant, so you can let it spill over a shelf or put it in a hanging basket for that effortless jungle vibe. Easy care, low light, and straight up beautiful. Silver Satin Pothos is a solid pick. One of the best things about Silver Satin Pothos, it's a fast grower. Even in low light, this thing keeps sending out new vines. You can let it trail naturally, or, if you're feeling fancy, you can train it up a moss pole for a more structured look. And feel these leaves. They're a little thicker than regular pothos, which means they hold onto moisture longer. Translation? You don't have to water it all the time. Seriously, if you forget for a week or two, this plant will still be thriving. Low effort, high reward. What's not to love? All right, next up, we've got the Marble Queen Pothos. And let's be honest, the name alone sounds fancy. But trust me, this one isn't high maintenance at all. Look at that gorgeous variegation. Each leaf has its own unique pattern, almost like a little work of art. And the best part? It doesn't need direct sunlight to keep that beautiful marbling. I keep one right here on my desk, and it's totally thriving, even though this room barely gets any sunlight. It's one of those set-it-and-forget-it plants, which I know a lot of us can appreciate. Now, because of all that white in the leaves, it does grow a bit slower than some other pothos varieties. But that just means less trimming and maintenance for you. Plus, it still tolerates low light like a champ, so it's a solid pick for those darker corners of your home. One of the coolest things about Marble Queen? It's super versatile. You can let it trail down a shelf like this, or you can pop it in a hanging basket for that perfect cascading effect. Either way, it makes your space look instantly greener and more put together. Now, here's a pro tip. Since the lighter parts of the leaves don't have as much chlorophyll, it doesn't grow as fast as, say, a golden pothos. So, if you're watering on autopilot, let the soil dry out first before giving it another drink. Trust me, this plant would rather be a little thirsty than sitting in soggy soil. All right, this next one is a little different. And honestly, it's one of my personal favorites, Cebu Blue Pothos. If you want something that looks unique, but still super easy to care for, this is the one. Check this out. These leaves have this cool bluish silver tint, which is pretty rare in houseplants. And the best part? It thrives in low light, just like the others on this list. Now, here's something interesting. This one is a climber. If you give it something to climb, like a moss pole, the leaves actually get bigger and develop deep splits over time. But if you let it trail, it still looks amazing. I've got one chilling right here in this corner. Barely any sunlight, just a little indirect light from the window, and it's still pushing out new growth. So, if your space isn't super bright, no problem. Watering? Same deal as most pothos. Let the soil dry out first before watering. It's pretty forgiving, so if you forget for a week or two, it won't throw a fit. Seriously, if you're looking for a unique pothos that doesn't need the sunniest spot, Cebu Blue is a solid choice. Alright, this next one is called Enjoy Pothos, and honestly, it's one of the most eye-catching pothos out there. If you want something small, stylish, and super low maintenance, this is a great pick. Look at this variegation, bright white mixed with deep green. It almost looks hand-painted. And the cool thing? It doesn't need direct sun to keep these colors vibrant. I actually keep one in my bathroom, where there's barely any natural light, and it's doing just fine. As long as it gets some indirect light, maybe from a nearby window, it'll keep growing. One thing to know, Enjoy is a little slower growing than other pothos because of all that white in the leaves. Less chlorophyll means slower growth, but hey, that just means less pruning for you. And like most pothos, this one likes to dry out between waterings. So don't go overboard, just water when the topsoil feels dry, and it'll stay happy. Seriously, if you want a compact, stylish pothos for low light, Enjoy is a solid choice. Alright, you can't talk about pothos without mentioning the OG, golden pothos. If you've ever had a houseplant, chances are it was one of these. And for good reason, it's super easy to care for and basically indestructible. Just look at those leaves. Deep green with streaks of golden yellow. And the best part? It thrives in low light, so even if your space isn't super bright, it'll still grow like crazy. I've got one right here in this hallway, barely any sunlight, just some ambient light from the other rooms. And it's still sending out long, trailing vines. Seriously, this plant does not quit. And if you want that jungle vibe, this is the pothos for you. You can let it trail, climb, or even wrap it around furniture. The more it grows, the better it looks. Another reason to love golden pothos? It's crazy easy to propagate. Just snip a piece, stick it in water, and boom, you've got a new plant in a few weeks. If you're new to houseplants, this one is a no-brainer. Alright, this next one is Jade Pothos. And if you're looking for something simple, classic, and low maintenance, this is the one. No fancy patterns, no variegation. Just deep green, glossy leaves that look good anywhere. One thing I love about Jade Pothos is how rich and dark the green is. And guess what? That's actually what makes it perfect for low light. Since it's all green, it absorbs light more efficiently than variegated pothos. I've got mine sitting over here in the corner, barely any natural light, just a lamp nearby, and it's still growing strong. This is one of those plants you can just set and forget. Now, if you want a fuller plant, here's a little trick. Plant a few cuttings together in the same pot. That way, instead of just one long vine, you get a nice bushy pothos right from the start. Alright, last but definitely not least, we've got the Hawaiian Pothos. If you like the look of a golden pothos but want something bigger and bolder, this one's for you. Check out these massive leaves, bigger than most other pothos varieties, and the yellow streaks give it that tropical feel. Even in low light, it holds on to that variegation, which is a win. I keep mine over here, away from direct sunlight, and it's still growing like crazy. If you want a pothos that makes a statement, Hawaiian Pothos is the way to go. One thing to know, since it grows fast, you might need to trim it back now and then. But that just means more cuttings to propagate. So yeah, if you want a low-light pothos with some serious size, Hawaiian Pothos is a solid pick. And there you have it, 7 awesome pothos varieties that thrive in low light. Whether you're a beginner or just adding to your plant collection, these guys are easy to care for, tough to kill, and look amazing anywhere. Got a favorite? Let me know in the comments. And if this video helped, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss out on more easy plant care tips. Alright, that's it for today. Happy planting, and I'll see you in the next one.